the main argument that I've been having with Senator Clinton during the course of this campaign. You know, I think that Senator Clinton is a smart and capable person. She was a friend of mine before this campaign started. She will be a friend after this campaign is over. But you know, she seems to think that all we need to do is change political parties and then just kind of work the system. And what I'm trying to say is that we don't just need to play the game better in Washington. We need to put an end to the game playing in Washington. We can't have every agenda being set by lobbyists and special interests. That's why I don't take lobbyist money. That's why I don't take tax money. Because we need to send a clear signal that we're going to break with the past, that we're going to listen to you, that we're going to be accountable to you. That's what this campaign has been about. When I've been criticized in this campaign, it hasn't been for my ideas, it hasn't been for my policies. It's been, well, he hasn't been in Washington long enough. That's basically Senator Clinton's main argument. You know, she basically thinks, you know, well, you got to be in Washington long. We haven't seasoned and stewed you long enough in Washington. We haven't boiled all the hope out of you. Made you sound just like us. But I should remind people, look, nobody had a longer resume than Donald Rumsfeld. Nobody had a longer resume than Dick Cheney. All the people who have been there a long time, they've had a chance to provide health care for people who didn't have it. They've had a chance to create a decent energy policy. You know, longevity is not the same as judgment. It's not the same as wisdom. It's not the same as being willing to fight for the American people. I'm not running to become more like Washington. I'm running to challenge Washington and change Washington and fix Washington. That's why I'm running for president. And then Senator Clinton makes an argument about electability. Well, I can, you know, I'm the person to take on John McCain. Now the polls don't show that, but the argument is that, you know, because she's been around in Washington longer, that somehow that makes her better equipped. And I've got to explain, look, if the contest between McCain and the Democratic nominee is who's been there longer, John McCain wins. John McCain wins. If the argument is, you know, who is going to pursue a foreign policy like George Bush's,
McCain wins that too.
then John McCain wins. If you're ready for change, then we are going to have an economy that works for the American people. Not just the fat cats, not just Wall Street, but Main Street. I gave a speech about this in New York yesterday. Now, this housing crisis didn't just happen by accident. You had mortgage lenders spending $185 million on lobbying to prevent the kind of oversight that would have stopped predatory lending, stopped deceptive practices. Now we find ourselves in a situation where people are at risk of losing their homes. And so what I've said is, we're going to set up an FHA program that helps people stay in their homes and negotiates between borrowers and lenders. And we'll have a $10 billion home foreclosure prevention fund to make sure that people can stay in their homes, because it's bad for everybody.
Yes.
When you start seeing foreclosures in the neighborhood, that lowers everybody's property values.
Yes, bad for everybody.
But as it goes beyond this immediate crisis, we've got to stop giving tax breaks to companies that ship jobs overseas and give those tax breaks to companies that are investing right here in the United States of America. We need to roll back Bush tax cuts on and wealthiest Americans and give tax breaks to middle-class Americans who need them. I believe in free trade, but I want to make sure that our trade agreements have labor standards and environmental standards and safety standards so U.S. workers, the best in the world, are not being undermined by unfair competition. That should be a commitment of the President of the United States. I want to invest in infrastructure in this country. If we can spend $10 to $12 billion a month in Iraq rebuilding Baghdad, then I guarantee you we can spend $10 billion right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, bridges, putting people back to work. I want to invest in energy policy because that's the only way that we're going to bring gas prices down is if we start using less. And so what does that mean? It means that we can invest billions of dollars from charging polluters for the carbon they send in the atmosphere. We can take billions of dollars and invest in solar and wind and biodiesel and put people back to work. Building windmills, putting steel workers back to work. Building windmills, putting unionized jobs, building solar panels, making buildings more energy efficient. So we're going to invest in early childhood education to close the achievement gap. Make sure every child is prepared when they start school. We are not just going to talk about how great teachers are. We're going to reward teachers for their greatness by paying them higher salaries and giving them more support. We're going to set up after-school programs, the summer school programs, to keep kids off the streets. Because I'm tired of seeing us build new jails while we're keeping old schools. Keeping you safe also means using our military wisely. When the war in Iraq was unwise. The war in Iraq was unwise. That's why I opposed it in 2002. That's why I will bring it to an end in 2009. It is time for them to stand up and resolve their differences. Start focusing once again on the war we have to win in Afghanistan. But I don't want to just end the war, I want to end the mindset that got us into war. I want to end the climate of fear that uses 9/11 as a way to scare up votes instead of a way to bring the country together. I understand what John F. Kennedy said. We said we can never negotiate out of fear, but we can never fear to negotiate. That's what strong presidents and strong countries do. They talk to their adversaries. They tell them where America stands. When we do that, we will truly lead once again in the world. We will lead going after terrorists, but we'll also lead in reducing nuclear stockpiles and locking down loose nuclear weapons and helping poor countries deal with HIV/AIDS and bringing an end to the genocide in Darfur. Observing civil liberties and human rights and due process will close Guantanamo and restore habeas corpus. Because we'll have a president who has taught the Constitution and believes in the Constitution